You know, folks, Tanner Haas, the founder and CEO of Freedom Chat, he's the real deal. I mean, this is a guy who created a messenger app and could have been selling data for millions of dollars just like everybody else, but instead he chose your freedom and your privacy rights over making money. I recently had the opportunity to speak with him, and here's the interview so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So, gang, you've been hearing me talk about Freedom Chat for the past week or so. We've been letting everybody know about this great new app that, for some reason, wants to collaborate with us. And I need to get to the bottom of that to understand why in the world someone would want to come on a political show that does nothing but point and laugh at people and have their product plastered all over the place. So I'm here with Tanner Haas. Tanner, you are the founder, the CEO, the chief cook and bottle washer over at Freedom Chat. How you doing, pal?
I'm hanging in there, Gene. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, your story is one that I relate to in a lot of ways. I come from a family, my father that was basically a serial entrepreneur and always tried to strike out on his own, hits and misses, but the idea that you have your own life in your hands here is sort of a very freeing and exhilarating feeling. How did you decide that you wanted to, at such a young age, get started on your own rather than going the traditional route of working for somebody else and earning your keep and progressing in that ladder?
So I come from a family of academics. I mean, I'm the only person in my family to not graduate from an Ivy League type school, and my whole family comes from Harvard, MIT, Oxford, Stanford, um, doctors, lawyers, and I just knew, I'm like, that to me, that's not success. Like I have a lot higher ambition than to make a few 100,000 to work. I've seen how they work. I just don't, that's not me. I don't like that. And I've been a voracious reader since I was 16 years old, and I could devour biographies like nobody's business. And I would read about some of the most successful people ever, whether that's Alexander the Great, presidents, businessmen. And I just would read about them, and they were all men, some women that set their own destiny. Hey, I'm going to do this. They work for themselves. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create stuff. I love to create things. I love to build things from the ground up. And I don't know if I just got the entrepreneurial bug. I love to create things. I could never just go work in an office 9 to 5. I mean, working 8 hours a day to me would be a vacation. That's a luxury. When you run your own stuff, it's 16, 17, 18-hour days. You know what? Sometimes you're going to call in the middle of the night that the product went down, something happened, and I don't know. It's who I am, and it started at a young age, 16, and so now I'm 26, and I've started 4 companies. I've sold 2 of them. Freedom Chat is the latest and greatest, the most exciting, the most difficult, and I just look at it as a blessing that I'm able to work on what I want to work on, read what I want to read, talk to who I want to talk to. That's my take on it.
It's working without a net is what it is, too.
Without a net, for sure. There's no safety net over here.
Yeah, and that's sort of, because you're such a voracious reader, and I've learned that, and author, best-selling author, and created businesses in dietary supplements and things like that. So many different fields, so many different hats. One of the things that you don't learn from even reading those success stories, quote unquote, that are out there, is that for every success that's out there, there's a bunch of failures that led up to that success. How have you been able to just keep going from success to now this new venture with Freedom Chat that is off to a great start?
So it's what you said. Everybody sees the success part, but they don't see like what led up to it. So my first company was a nutrition company, Fattori Nutrition. I started that when I was 18. I sold it when I turned 21. So in a lot of people's minds, it's wow, just up and to the right, up and to the right. No, it was down and to the left. I drove Uber on the side because I had no income. I basically had to sell all my product at a loss. I was terribly, I don't want to say depressed because I don't, down. Like I was just in a negative state of mind. What did I do? Can I actually do this? And it was very, very difficult. Like, I can't overstate that. My power was turned off. I could not afford any food, and I literally would consume my own protein powder because I already paid for it, and raw eggs, and then occasionally I'd get some canned tuna from CVS down the street. So, I mean, it was like, nobody wants to point that out. They want to point out, oh, you're 21, you sold a company. Yeah, I was broke until the day I sold the company, like very, very broke. And I met my wife when in the middle of this, actually, and all I had was a blow up mattress in an apartment. So she saw that, and we've been together ever since. It's really just persistence. Like, I've got my first company, was very, very difficult, sold it. Second company, like, everyone progresses and something shit's going to hit the fan one way or another. And most people usually just quit. Oh, I'm not meant to do this. They take it as a sign. I'm not meant to do this. Or you're being tested and you got to persist, and stuff always happens. And Freedom Chat's off to a great start, but early on it was incredibly difficult. We couldn't get the product right, meaning, like, we had to reach feature parity. WhatsApp was created in 2009. We have had to reach feature parity in 2 years, something that has taken them 15 years.
Yeah.
Over 15 years. So, like, for them, they just recently added the ability to edit a message. We had that before WhatsApp, and we were incorporated in late 2022, early 2023. So it's taken a long time to build. We've had to sprint. This has been a 16, 18-hour stretch indefinitely. But I wouldn't choose anything else. Like, to me, this is fun. I take it upon myself. Each company is a part of me. If the business is doing bad, I'm not happy. If it's doing great, I'm happy. Anybody can choose this type of, it's just, you got to be so persistent, and you can't take no for an answer. That is one of the biggest things.
Yeah. And you got to take it personally too.
You do.
Because if you don't take it personally, then you're really not taking it seriously either. So, you
got to take it like this is your life, and it is your life. If people have entrusted us, like, we've raised money, and I take that personally, that this mom, this dad, these individuals have entrusted us with their hard-earned savings, this fund that raised money. They're trusting us. Like, I do take it personally, and I think that's good. Some people are too lackadaisical, and they're, well, if they screw up, no. There is, like, I've told my wife, like, I don't know what I'll do if this wouldn't work out, because we've taken people's money. I've put so much time, energy, and effort. Like, failure is literally not an option. I don't care how long it takes. Come hell or high water, this is going to succeed. And we're going to do what we set out to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
If I send you a message, can I erase that message?
You can unsend it. You can unsend all of your messages.
That is a key feature right there.
So not only can you unsend at any moment in time, you can self-destruct, so it'll automatically be unsent. You can unsend all with the click of a button. So if I have sent 1,000 messages, okay, I just want to unsend all. It's off the other person's device just like that.
And they can't prevent that.
No, they can't prevent that.
If someone hasn't self-destruct or unsent it, you can still screenshot it.
Oh, so we block screenshots.
That's a huge feature.
Blocks the feature on the phone.
That would be my concern. I send you a inappropriate picture.
Well, I've already done that.
And you have them. I don't want you to save them.
That's
we also
sick.
prevent screen recordings.
Oh, wow.
So, or media from
That's a
being
huge
saved.
feature.
So we ensure everything that is sent within Freedom Chat stays within Freedom Chat.
All right. Well, let's talk about what you're setting out to do here with Freedom Chat, because honestly, what you've already accomplished here is so impressive. And listen, I'm the type of guy that likes to get in on the ground floor of things and understand the motivation behind things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your motivation to start up this from the conceptual level.
Mm-hmm.
What made you go from, like, nutrition supplements into a business where you want to talk to people privately and preserve their freedom of speech rights and respect their privacy? Where did that drive come from?
I think all of my companies have actually started pretty organically. The only one that was forced was a nutrition company, but give me 30 seconds. I'll see how it all pivots to Freedom Chat. So my first nutrition company, when I sold it, we sold it to a stem cell biotechnology company, and they had a huge affiliation with autism. So we actually introduced an autism supplement called Spectrum Plus. I got super inundated with the whole autism space. I really came to understand that it's a neurological condition. We're all on the spectrum. So when I left that company, I started an online autism test powered by AI. So that was company number 2. And that killed it. That did really, really well. We got 16,000 submissions in 6 weeks. There were a few therapists that weren't in our network because we could allow individuals to connect with a therapist right then and there in the portal. They cried foul. Some regulators cried foul. And it wasn't because our product wasn't incredible. It was and is. It's because you kind of have to play by their rules, which is disgusting because the traditional route to getting a diagnosis for autism is 2 years. And they treat it as binary. You have autism, you don't. That's not accurate. Everybody's on the spectrum in one way, shape, or form. You could be in the 1st percentile, 100th percentile. And we were giving people a unique score, but they kind of forced my hand. I'm 22. I just sold a company, so I shut that down. And I picked up I mentioned that when I was running Fattori Nutrition, I drove Uber on the side to supplement my income. One of the individuals I picked up in an Uber called me 4 years later and asked me if I knew how to make a website. And I said, yes, I did. And this was exactly when I shut down Reveal, my second company. So my third company literally started because somebody in an Uber I picked up 4 years ago asked me if I could make a website. And it turned into a really large pharmacy, actually. And he recommended 9 other people to us. So all of a sudden I had this full-fledged marketing agency, website creation firm. And that killed it. That did really, really well. And one of our clients was actually a news site. And I remember I would manage their site. I would look at some of the comments, and it was a privacy article. And these individuals were deeply, deeply concerned. And I was like, well, what do they mean that somebody can spy on me through my camera? Or if I send something that I can actually read what I send. And so I went down the rabbit hole, and this was the fall of 2022. And the more I went down the rabbit hole, the more concerned I got. Like, all these claims that these companies make is nonsense. WhatsApp, if you see their website, everywhere you see it's speak freely, message privately, our end-to-end encryption, it's disgusting. End-to-end encryption used to mean something very specifically. It means no one under any circumstance other than the intended recipient can see what you send. WhatsApp, you can actually report a user on WhatsApp and they can see the 5 latest messages. So it's end-to-end encryption when they want it to be. And if you really think that they can't see every other message but the 5, you're crazy. So the more I went into this, the more I dug into it, I just got pissed off. Like, it honestly made my blood boil. Like, is anybody going to have privacy? Can I message my wife something without somebody else seeing it? Can I send an image or video? No, the answer is no. That I just don't trust any other platform out there. If you look at Telegram, which some people have a lot of favor with, they're not end-to-end encrypted by default. They store every single message on a server. They have an immense amount of user data. Didn't trust that. iMessage, you can't trust that. They will take the content of the video you send and actually target you with that. So this actually happened to me, is a friend. He lives in Florida. He has a beautiful home on the water, and he was recording and saying, look at my new hot tub and cold tub. He's got his little back and forth. Didn't text me the words, just recorded it. And all of a sudden on Safari, on both my computer and my phone, and this is before I started using private browsers or things like that, I was being advertised for cold and hot tubs. And like, he didn't even message me yet. It was the videos, the dialect in the video. So at this point, I'm just raging. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so I talked to 5 clients of mine. They're super good guys, successful. Said, I'm thinking of starting this. I didn't know the name at the time, but it's going to be a completely private messaging app that hits on the 3 pillars of privacy, which is the encryption. Do you store messages on a server? And do you have commercial use of user data? They said, yep, go for it. And they were our pre-seed funding. And we launched this. I didn't know the name, but I knew that we would adhere to specific values because, like, some companies want to say that they have end-to-end encryption, but they store every single message on a server. They have an immense amount of user data and it's used for commercial purposes. So if you and I are talking, Gene, but WhatsApp can see where we're based out of, what device we're using, what we search on our phone, the content that we're actually exchanging. They might not be able to see if it's a message, so they claim, but they can see it's an image or a video. Like that, to me, that's not private. That's BS. So come on, tell it like it is. Signal, I don't trust Signal in any way, shape, or form. So really, Freedom Chat was just created not out of like I want to do this. I don't see any alternative. I want to know. I don't trust anything else. I want to know that if I send my wife something, if I send my mom something, my business partner something, that nobody under any scenario can see what I send. And it's not because I have something to hide. I abide by the law. It's because it's nobody else's business. And the minute that we start thinking that it's okay for somebody else to see what we're sending, wait till you run for something to power. Wait till somebody is fighting you in court. And this is what you see. Oh, look at what Tanner said 6 years ago. It's like, well, how the hell did you get that? Like, well, because what you send, it can actually be read and seen and heard at any moment in time. And we just, for some reason, neglect it. Like we're in this fairyland where what you sent isn't going to be leaked out at one point or another. So Freedom Chat it's the future. It's a way for people to communicate privately. And whether you have something to hide or not, it doesn't really matter. You should be able to text who you want. You should be able to send an image, a video, a contact. And it should be nobody's damn business, period, full stop. That's how I feel. And I think what we're doing is the future. I see us not just empowering individuals to communicate privately, but we're also in discussions with healthcare companies that want to build a private end-to-end encrypted HIPAA compliant chat. Dating apps want to do this, legal. I mean, Freedom Chat is
yeah, the white label possibilities here are endless.
And we're already it's sort of like my marketing company that started all organically. We got 10 clients from my marketing company to make websites before we even had a website. Here, we didn't even offer the for business side until 2 people asked about it. I said, yeah, I guess we could do that. We signed 2 deals and then we made the for business website. So it really is. This is not just a independent conservative messaging app, however people want to label it. This is a messaging app for anybody that wants to message privately, but also the implications are so broad. We're going to empower businesses around the world to really take control of their privacy, it's getting worse and worse, and it's going to continue to get worse until somebody acts, which is what Freedom Chat's doing.
Yeah, well, up until my discussion with you, I was always thinking, data collection, especially from the aspect of social media and all the information we freely give up in order to enjoy the social nature of social media, is a big business.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, you are the first person I've spoken to that has willingly decided to forego the lucrative nature of data collection and selling off information. That's pretty amazing and speaks a lot to your character. But it also speaks to the vendetta that you were describing. Being an Italian from Brooklyn, I recognize vendetta when I see it. And seeing the anger and how anger motivated to action. And we've gotten this far with Freedom Chat. What's on the horizon? I mean, where do you see Freedom Chat delivering? Because it seems like you have the best of like 3 different apps going right now, all in one. You have the end-to-end encryption. You have the ability for entities like My Little Show to create a value proposition for people that we want to subscribe and listen and be a part of our community. And then you have the just the bandwidth of putting up videos, of eventually allowing more interactivity in chats and things like that. Where do you see the logical progression going here? You got the messaging part in. You got people like me attracted to the idea of engaging with our audience on a different level. Where do you see Freedom Chat progressing from there as it grows and people get more aware of it?
We're just scratching the surface. And so you're right. We do have the private chat side, and we've got a plethora of features coming out next week where you'll be able to reply to a specific message. You'll be able to share contacts within Freedom Chat. You won't Like we want to replace all these other communication apps. So we have the chat side, we have the channel side, which you said, which is a new private form of social media. So somebody can go subscribe to Buffoon of the Week, and I recommend they do. Nobody can see the channel they're subscribed to. We can't see that. We can't see if they react to your post, if they give you a thumbs up, thumbs down, heart. We can't see that. So it is a new way for people to engage with the content they want without the extracurricular of, oh, you're going to be all this trans stuff, this woke stuff, this negativity is going to be shoved in your face. No, if you don't want to see that, you don't see it. You see only who you subscribe to, and you get the same content that you would on another form of social media. So you have a private chat. You have a new private form of social media. It's a perfectly curated news feed for you. And we're going to add the ability to reply to a channel. So it's going to be like a mix between now X and Reddit with Telegram. Like people will be able to reply to your channel post. And if they want to do so anonymously, they do so anonymously. If they want to put their real name, put their real name. We're going to add polls. We're going to add voice and video calls. I mean, Telegram really capitalized on the ability for companies to create a channel. And because it's users want that content, it's basically delivered as if it's a text message. But Telegram, they have over 900 million users, almost a billion, depending on the sources you look at. And they don't have end-to-end encryption by default. There's a lot of issues with Telegram in terms of fraud. Like if you go on there, there's 10 Larry Elders. They just allow this. I've spoken to some of these creators and they're pissed off and they hate it. So there's a lot of room for us to capitalize on. WhatsApp, people use WhatsApp for international travel to make voice and video calls from across the ocean. We're going to capitalize on all that. Why would you use WhatsApp if you could use Freedom Chat and it's actually private and secure? You don't need somebody snooping in on your calls. You don't need somebody spying on you through your camera. I mean, I encourage everybody to actually go look into this. Like it is really disgusting. Some of these apps, messaging apps that I will not name because they're nasty and they will file a lawsuit, is they will literally track your keystrokes. So they are going to say that you're private, but they're going to track your keystrokes. Like, so exactly what you're sending. I mean, that's disgusting. There's been reports that companies have spied on users through their camera. Your images and videos are uploaded and categorized for your convenience. It's just like, come on, really? And people, well, I'm going to use iMessage. Keep using iMessage. Wait till you have a disagreement with somebody, as we've seen so often on the conservative side, that all of a sudden, no, something you said 5 years ago that was a little offensive gets out and your life is ruined and you have to apologize for something that, you know what, you're not in the wrong for. You can say whatever you want to say without, like, that's free speech. So I see this, we are just hitting the tip of the iceberg. We're going to have messaging channels, voice and video calls. You'll be able to send calendar links directly within the app. We'll have a desktop version. We're really just getting started.
I'm excited for the future. You mentioned polling. I mean, that's what we do here before the week. Mm-hmm. I want the most interactive and gamified experience for my listener base, because listening is very passive and it's great that everybody will come and listen to me rant about, you know, whatever topic, whether it be Adam Schiff one day or the Epstein Files another day. And that's all well and good. But to create a poll every week and say, hey, who do you think was the dumbest newsmaker of the week? You tell me, and to give them more options to do that beyond, you know, finding an audience on social media. Like I have my audience on X, I have my audience on YouTube, I have my audience on Rumble, but on Freedom Chat, I have all of them, and I can reach all of them, and they're with me. They're not necessarily with Freedom Chat. They're my audience, and that's a really cool thing to say, because I can't say that on other platforms.
Yep. 100%. And we want to give you, the creator, it is your audience, and we want to give you the tools that, so like nobody can screenshot your channel unless you disable Screenshot Protect. You can self-destruct anything, you can edit, unsend, you can share images, videos, GIFs, you'll be able to share polls soon. You are in control. It is like giving you, if you want to unsend something, you unsend something. Nobody can screenshot. If you want anonymity, like On these other platforms, you say it's out there forever. And all you think you have an audience on these platforms, all their data is harvested. It's not your audience. This is, you speak to them in any way you want to. We don't have commercial use of their data. You can't see who reacts to your posts. Like, it really is the best of both worlds for the consumer, for the creator, and for us as a company. Data collection is, that's lucrative. It does not interest me in any way, shape, or form. That's why we launched the For Business side. We have a pay for privacy. And I despise social media so much. I don't even have any social media. My only social media is a Tanner Haas channel on Freedom Chat. It's like, and we're never going to have any algorithms either. I think that's sick to if anybody hasn't read it, read the Anxious Generation, a book, talks about how social media messes with your brain. We'll never have an algorithm. I will never try to trick people to stay longer on the app. If anything, if you're on the app for 5 hours straight, I'd tell you to hang up, go for a walk, get off your phone. Like, we are the opposite of these other social media apps. And I think we're catching a wave at the right time. And I think this is what consumers want, both in terms of user friendliness, the features, the security, the privacy. And I'm really, really excited for what we're doing and what the future holds.
Well, as we were talking off air and talking about the interaction I have with your people, I'm sure that you guys know we're just as excited for the possibilities for Freedom Chat here. We're really looking to go all in with it. I would be remiss, being that we have a channel called Buffoon of the Week where we search for the dumbest newsmakers of the week, to not ask your opinion about sort of the state of politics, but also when it comes to buffoonery and things like that. One of the things I put into my book in explaining about that is that we all have our own stories of moments where we weren't exactly at our best moment. There's no such thing as a person that is not a buffoon, in my opinion, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
When you look at today's political world, is there any politician out there that you can point to that just gets under your skin like nobody else when you see them, and you just think to yourself, oh my God, this person is just, I have like a list like you wouldn't believe of them. But if I had to point to someone around me here in the People's Republic of New York, recently it's Andrew Cuomo, who basically, you want to talk about vendetta. I know so many people that want his head on a platter right now. For you, who is that one politician that would sort of like be the anti-Tanner, that when you hear about them, talk about them, your skin crawls? Who's that?
I might get some hate for this. I don't care. Honestly, all of them. Like, I really don't like when there's a hidden agenda. If somebody says they're going to do something, do it. Like, shut up and do it. That's why I despise Andrew Cuomo, is he was projecting himself as this incredible man, this stand-up man. No, you're sexually harassing people around you. You're a liar. You're, a wimp. Like, I really just despise people like that. And really, a lot of these politicians have such a hidden agenda. You go on I don't have social media, but you read any of these articles, what they do today is paradoxical, completely like what they're saying 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't like how the Epstein files have been handled in any way, shape, or form. I don't think we're being told the truth there. Instead of which politicians.
Yeah, the mentality maybe is the better way to put it.
I'm not a fan. Like, I wrote in my first book, Art of the Goal, when I was 18. I want to run for president when I'm 2040, and I still stand by that. I think our country, we really need to disembowel it. Like, there's a lot of things we need to change, and we need somebody without an agenda, who's not beholden to others in any way, shape, or form, who's going to do what's best for the people, because we were a constitutional republic founded by the people for the people. It's a better question to ask who doesn't get under your skin than to who does, because right now it's
You know what it is? You know what it is, Tanner? And I think maybe this is it. Maybe it's the mentality of the type of person that has become attracted to elective office, whether it
Yeah.
be that political narcissist that thinks they're, you know what, don't stink, and they believe
And
their
they
own
want the
hype.
attention, and they're the best thing since sliced bread. And it's like, I mean, like AOC, for example, if there's one, she irks me the most. Like, it's not just from her policies. If she could be a conservative, but what bugs me the most is she was a nobody. She was a waitress, right? And then she's got elected to Congress. Now she has all this power. She has done nothing of value, any way, shape, or form. Never started a company, never managed money, nothing. So you could look at it one of two ways. You could say she's an idiot and she's never done anything, and she is. But what I hate so much, and actually like this, you could admire about her, which I don't, because this is not how she's played it, is she was a nobody and now she's a somebody. You know how many people she could influence and inspire if she's like, look, I was a waitress, but I worked my ass off 12-hour days, and now this is my salary. This is what I do. I'm in Congress, but she doesn't do that. She wants to play that the poor me, that white people suck. Oh, we need socialism. It's like, you know, the amount of lives you could change if you stopped
Yeah.
whining. And that's what I hate.
Yeah, you know, and that story recently came out about her being, you know, this Bronx girl can kick any guy from Queens' ass, referring to Donald Trump. And it turns out that my friend's husband, who's an assemblyman in New York, re-exposed that she was from Yorktown Heights, a very nice suburb up in Westchester County. And, you know, when you think Westchester County, you think of, like, you know, the Xavier Mansion and X-Men and things like that. You don't think of the gritty grime of the Bronx. And then she still couldn't even really admit that that was her past and all that. I hate phonies, fakes, liars,
Yes.
as I call them, shooks, crooks, liars, and scoundrels. Can't stand any of them. And that might be what attracts me most to Freedom Chat, is that in talking to you, in seeing your vision, in outlining what the ethos of Freedom Chat is, there's none of that pretension. There's none of that opportunism. It's not about, you know, grifting people out of their information and turning that into gold for you. You actually are standing up for a value that you want to see out in the world. And that's really something that people should admire.
It's something I want for my kid. I mean, I have a newborn son, so it's something I want for my son. Like, that's what most people, I think that's what would benefit them if that's how they approach life, is not what I want, like, okay, you want a new car, you want this. It's like, what makes your blood boil? Lack of privacy, hidden agenda, stuff like that. That makes my blood boil. And that's part of the reason I dislike Signal so much as a messaging app, is they claim they're a nonprofit. They got $100 million grant. Well, I would love to get $100 million grant. We didn't do that. We had to bust our ass from the ground up, start a company from nothing. It's like, we do not have a hidden agenda. We want to give people their privacy back. And our goal by 2030 is to have between 10 to 50 million monthly active users. Yeah, we'd make a lot more selling user data. That does not interest me. What interests me is giving people their privacy back. We created a for business because obviously we need to make money. That's how businesses run. That's why I despise nonprofits, is, again, the hidden agenda. Like OpenAI, you're not a nonprofit. That's not sustainable, as it was proven, and they tried to flip-flop. Signal, same thing. Just call it like it is. Businesses need to make money, but ours is fundamentally different. We're not going to use users' data. I don't want it. We don't store messages on our server. We have zero commercial user data. It's just fundamentally different. And that's why when people, oh, you want to compare us to Signal, you want to compare us to Telegram, it's like totally different value system. Who are you going to trust? And I mean, it does make my blood boil. It's like, just call it what it is. If you want to act like you're a private messaging app, but you take more data than these other social media apps, you're not a private messaging app in any way, shape, or form. Just tell it like it is, move on, and that's it.
Yeah, be who you are. Be loud in public about who you are. If you're going to do something like that, don't hide it. Why are you hiding? If there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, don't hide it.
Don't hide it. Exactly.
There you go. Oh man, see, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength here as far as the values that we hold as far as standards we want to hold ourselves up to and show that we do it in order to inspire others to do the same. And that will also call out, and this is the vendetta part of it, it'll call out those who don't have the same ethos, work ethic, drive to make things right and only care about their own selfish devices, which
That's it. How much can they get? How much money can they get? What can they, like, of course, I want to make money. Of course, I want to have an incredible life, but I also want to do it in a way that I'm going to look back when I'm 80 and be like, I was proud that I did that. We're not going to sell people shit products. I despise that. We're not going to harvest people's data, their most private conversations. No, we're not going to do that. Like Facebook, Instagram, these apps, $1 trillion company, great. The amount of harm they have inflicted on society, rates of depression, anxiety, it's terrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. And at the end of the day, yeah, you made a ton of money. You have made the world would have been better off if you never had existed.
Isn't it great that in a world full of schnooks, crooks, liars, and scoundrels, that you end up finding people like Tanner Haas in the world still fighting that good fight? We're going to put some bonus coverage up on Freedom Chat on our channel there, and be sure to keep checking back here to Buffoon of the Week, because this isn't the last you're going to see of Tanner Haas and our relationship with Freedom Chat.